Loyalty can be a great thing when it comes to loyalty to a person or loyalty even to your job. But loyalty to a gig app could be costing you thousands of dollars. Let's find out how. Hi, I'm Tyler from the RideShare Guy. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at exactly why you should not be loyal to one particular gig app. So first, what does loyalty to a particular gig app actually look like? What this means is that you are dedicated to simply working for that gig app alone and that you're going to continue. What this could look like for different individuals is, number one, if it was the first gig app that you ever signed up for, and so you're just going to continue to drive for them regardless if they're making the most amount of money or not. So for instance, my very first gig app that I was able to drive for was Lyft. I greatly appreciated the ability to do so because other gig apps weren't available at the time or were telling me that I didn't qualify to drive for them. So the fact that Lyft did, I was really happy. But I can't even tell you the last time that I drove for Lyft because I'm no longer doing passengers right now. And so it's not a app that I'm going to continue to focus on and drive with just because they were the first ones that I drove for. Another reason to be loyal is because the apps themselves and the companies try to get you to be loyal. So things like Uber, Lyft, Doordash, they all have different bonuses if you're loyal to them or if you meet the minimum requirements such as acceptance rates or how often you drive or things like that. And so because of that, they drive people to want to be loyal so that they can get those benefits of driving. It's almost like you're getting benefits from an employer without actually having an employer. However, we've talked about before, a lot of those benefits you can get on your own as a self-employed individual, which is what you are as a rideshare driver or gig worker. So being loyal to a gig worker for that reason doesn't make a lot of sense. And then finally, another reason that people may remain loyal to a company is because at one point they made a lot of money with that company. So for me, Instacart, when it first came out in my area, I was able to make a lot of money with it. It was by far the best cost per mile that I've ever got ever. I was getting $3, $4, or $5 per mile with Instacart because the majority of the work was inside the store. And I was able to make quite a bit of money with it. However, fast forward just a few years later and Instacart isn't something that I typically even get anymore. I do sign in and I look, but I'm not going to focus on it and make sure that, hey, I'm going to get Instacart money because at the end of the day, I need to make money for myself. So Instacart is a great way to make money and it's still an option, but it's definitely not in my area as good as it once was. So I'm not going to stick with the company simply because at one time it was profitable. So how is being loyal to one particular gig app costing you money? Well, because you're not signing into various different apps, you're not trying different things, you're not going to make different amounts of money. You're going to make less and less money as time goes by. Again, think about all those things that you first started and how often you say to yourself, I don't make as much money as I did when I first started. The reason is because there was less drivers back then. Yes, there was less demand, and it's true, they probably paid more at the time, but that's how they get drivers in. The same is true with new apps that come out. So that's why companies like Deliver That or Delivered or other companies for me in my area that I'm signing up for because right now there's not that many drivers doing it and there's a lot of money to be made in it. I've made over $100 with Deliver That in just 3 hours because I'm able to work and make that money with that new app and I'm not focused on the previous app that I was using. So being loyal to one particular app means that you're saying no to all the new things that are coming out and the new gigs that allow you to make more money. It also means that you're not going to multi-app. So if I'm focused on Uber Eats, I'm only going to have Uber Eats on and I'm not going to make additional money from that. I'm not going to make additional money from other apps. The main three that I use are Grubhub, Uber Eats, and Doordash. So I'll have all three of those apps on, and I would say the majority of the time, the majority of the money comes from Uber Eats or Doordash, and they kind of take turns going back and forth on which I'm going to make more for the day. So I never know which one's going to make more, and it could be different literally from one day to the next. However, recently, this week, I actually had a day where the most I made was from Grubhub, which is really weird because I will go literally weeks without getting a decent order from Grubhub. So the fact that on one particular day, not only did I get a particular good order, but the majority of the orders came from Grubhub. So having all of those apps on at all times allows you not to be focused and able to make the most money for that particular day. So if you're loyal to one particular gig app, say it was DoorDash and Uber Eats, and I just said, hey, I haven't made money from Grubhub for 3 weeks, then this week I wouldn't have made great money because I would have been focused on those two, which weren't getting a lot of requests. So for whatever reason, Grubhub was, and it allowed me to make extra money, at least the amount of money I wanted to make that day, all through Grubhub. So likewise, being loyal to one particular gig app could cost you thousands of dollars depending on what you're doing because of that. So what do you need to do instead? Well, all of the things we've already talked about: multi-apping, finding new gig apps, looking to find better ways to make money at the same time. So we have different tablets you can put in the vehicle, or you could wrap your car, or you could look for different gigs that you can do at the same time. There's a million different ways to make money in the gig economy, and there's ways that you can double up or make more money doing the same exact work than you were before. So looking and finding ways to do that, not being loyal to one company as if like it's your job or they're your employer, but instead realizing that you are your employer. You work for yourself. And these other companies, you can think of them as clients. They're not even customers. They're clients that you work for, that you help to make money. So don't think of them as your boss. Don't think of them as your employer. Think of them as clients that you're trying to help facilitate and make money with. So you're using them, because being loyal to them costs you thousands of dollars and makes you nothing extra. So make sure you're getting out there, doing multiple apps, finding new gigs in your area, and trying all of them at the same time and not focusing on just one app. So that's what we found. What have you found in your area? Have you been loyal to one particular app in the past that you found that you had to kind of push aside? Or are you continuing to be loyal to an app just because of whatever reason it is? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one of them. We appreciate all that you do. And if you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up. It helps us out. Subscribe to the channel because there are new episodes that come out every single week, as well as lives and everything else that helps you make as much money as possible. And until next time, stay safe out there, everyone.